Welcome back. Welcome back. My chart is not up. What is up, guys? My name is Jacob. Welcome back to the weekly stream here at Lux Algo. Man, what a week so far. Mickey, what is up? Like always,
What's
Mickey's
going
here.
on? Happy to be here.
Awesome. The typical crew, Jacob and Mickey, ready to do some live analysis as well as go over what's going on in the chat. Let's see. How we doing? Top Bob, please. Hi, hello. What's up? Abraham. What's up, DP? Mayor, Hyper, Ganesh, Fun Content TV. What's up, guys? How we doing? Hypertrend. Love you. Jack, what's up, Jack? How you doing? Where's everybody from? Hello, Annie.
Anyone from a country that we've never heard of yet?
Probably. George. Hello, Kevin. How we doing? Yeah, so, man, this is the 4-hour chart on the ES, and what a hit we took from yesterday. We are currently down 1.25% from Pakistan, Iran. Awesome. Let's go take a look at the news like always and get right into it. Pull up that web browser. Take a quick look here. We had ISM this morning. As you can tell, ISM manufacturing, this is obviously U.S. markets. For those of you that aren't trading U.S. markets, sorry, but we're in the U.S., so we're going to look over U.S. news. U.S. markets, ISM manufacturing, you can see here, previous was 47.6. So we do have an increase, which is good, but again, anything over 50 is what we look for. So it is nice that we have an increase, but if that would have been over 50, we'd probably be a little bit greener today. But so that means we're still losing on that. And then spending's down on the construction, which, you know, can be good and bad. It's not really that as important as the ISM manufacturing. But that was on Monday. Today we had those job openings, and they hit on point 8.8, so that was fine. We got ADP employment tomorrow, and yeah, I think the rest of the week is pretty normal. Jobless claims, nothing too important, doesn't look like. But again, we are in a pretty aggressive sell-off right now, so I wouldn't be too sure that we're gonna bounce anytime soon. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix my mic, so you guys said my voice was low. Let me make sure I'm speaking into the right part of the mic. Okay, there we go. But let's kind of just get into the analysis. Why not? You know, news is important for sure. Always go over your news first. Make sure nothing too crazy is happening for the day. You can check on actually a good trick real fast, and I totally forgot about this. Let me look it up for you guys. Yeah. So this is
got the Jacob trick.
the Jacob trick. I don't even know why I haven't been doing this instead. Market calendar is good on Market Watch, but honestly, I'd go to investing.com, and then for one, you can see the entire world's big news, and you look for the 3-star newses. So today, anything that's 3-star is going to be important, super important. It's going to probably affect the market. So 3-star was the job openings, like we said, and they hit. But let's see, yeah, like, you know, later today we have the interest rate decision on the NZD. So like that's going to affect any markets that are related to that. But investing.com economic calendar usually pretty good. We can go to, like, you know, this week and look. You can filter out obviously just the US market. Let's go here. United States for us. And we can go to, there we go, like this week here. So obviously yesterday on Monday, we had the Fed chair. Powell was speaking. Nothing too crazy actually at 11 happened. Obviously, we're continuing to sell off today. Same old. Nothing has changed. He's saying the same crap. Tomorrow, ADP non-farm payroll is in the morning. So that's going to be pre-market. So it'll probably be pretty volatile day. So keep an eye on that. Tomorrow, 8:15. Be careful. But again, those of you that are new, right? Those of you new to this, investing.com, I would use this over MarketWatch, and I don't know why I haven't used this in the stream before, but you can see if it's important 3 stars to make it real simple for you guys. You can be like, okay, 10 a.m. Eastern today, 3 stars. I shouldn't trade at 10 a.m. because it's probably going to have some volatility. So that's just something to keep an eye on every single day. Just hop in to your investing.com economic calendar. Make sure you know what's going on, and then it'll rate it for you. But, yeah, so overall, we do actually, with these payrolls and tomorrow, that ADP is going to change what probably the end of the week looks like. So keep an eye on that. We can already have obviously a projection and stuff, the forecast and the previous. So we're projected to be lower. So keep an eye on that tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern, and let's get into the charts. So 4-hour chart. Remember, we like to go over the higher time frames at first. Guys, can you ask opinion about? Okay, we'll look at some of the questions. Remember, if you guys want to go over a specific asset, just put it in there with the time frame. Put it in the chat with the time frame. We will go over it. We'll try to touch on every one in the 2 hours that we're here, or hour and a half, depending on how everything goes. But for now, we go over all the majors on the higher time frames, usually the 4-hour and the daily, and then we'll dive into the 5-minute or so. And then Mickey will come in with his trick of the day. But let's get right into it. So 4-hour, obviously, we're getting a nice aggressive 3 signal, which is from the Luxottica signals and overlays, the AI classifier. 3 is of the higher of signals. Got that break of structure forming at the moment on the ES. So the only thing that I will say is we have already had a decent downtrend, right? So with this 3 coming in as late as it is, we still have an hour left. Notice, though, we have a break of structure forming on that 4-hour, right? We're breaking that previous low. We've broken it. Now, it's still forming. Once this 4-hour closes, then we'll know if that break of structure is going to be confirmed or not. That's if the candle we're in closes beneath that previous low. If that is the case, more than likely, ES is probably going to head lower. What else do we see? We see a turning point in around 40. So this isn't oversold either. So this is a early warning that this market could sell off even more. Even seeing this oscillator sitting as high as it is, which is kind of scary. So getting lower on this is a possibility in the next month or so, if not earlier. I mean, honestly, this is the 4-hour chart, so I will say earlier. We have several levels. As you saw earlier, I did bump up the show volumetric order blocks to 500 so we can see all of them, right? So we do have some levels that we want to watch out for now. We noticed that we have this 4184 level that we previously set a higher low at. Okay, so watching that would be my next target. Obviously, right now, guess what? We hit this level. So if we were to take a trade up here, that first order block down here would have been my first level. This is already plotted for us in the price action concepts indicator. So all I have to do is say, hey, okay, this level, 2.8 million volume has been there. It's if it has a percentage with 500, more than likely it's a more significant level. And as you can already see, this is the 4-hour. We are bouncing off of that level. So seeing that, I definitely am taking that into consideration. If we are to, mark this off on the ES here, let's go right into a lower time frame as well. If we were to mark off this order block just in case the lower time frame doesn't have it, you can see we broke through it, and then now we're kind of trading within it. So we want to see if that's going to break back out of that, or continue to reject since it broke already below it. So we'll see that on the 4-hour. Very bearish on ES. I wouldn't be looking long at all, especially with the oscillator sitting there. Let's head over to gold. And sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Let's head over to gold here. And we, talked about this before, had a massive sell-off from last week. Last Thursday, remember we were talking about this trend and this trend flipping as well. You can see here last Thursday, this is where we were on stream last, was the high of this, had that lower high, and then now we are completely, wow, extended. I keep forgetting all of the tools I need are at the bottom. So even from where we were last Thursday when we were on stream, it was about right here, we've been in a 5% sell-off. That's massive. With this 5% sell-off right now, what do I notice first? I notice several order blocks sitting down here around 1800. So right now on the 4 hour, I see 1800 is going to be a potentially significant level. So this person says, is it possible that gold hits 1830 the next 12 hours? 1830, it already hit 1830 today. So if we look at the 5 minute here, you can see it already hit 1830 and it rejected 1830. So in my opinion, I probably wouldn't target 1830 again. Not yet. In fact, I mean, we did bounce a little bit here before that around 1815, but we have, very strong levels down here that we're watching from a previous 4 hour move that bounced. Obviously, we bounced here, and then it treated this range between 1810 to 1800 as a level of support. So I'm not going to look for a bottom unless we show a strong level of support. If not, then I'm looking to potentially take trades down here around 1800 or as close to 1800 as possible. Notice as well on the oscillator down here, we have extremely large overflow. So the overflow is when you get two different colors, right? So if we're getting large bearish overflow, that means we're still in a very strong bearish volume. So we're seeing, a really aggressive extension on the oscillator. But again, we just now signaled divergence on this candle here. And in my opinion, you might get that extra leg down and then bounce, right? You get one more leg down could give you that. If not, maybe retest that low. But you really want to see it probably below 1820 before considering any setup. But again, we need, if anything, several levels to indicate that this is going to be a spot of consolidation for a potential move. So those of you asking for the name of the order block indicator, it's price action concepts. At the top of my screen, you can see indicators shown, price action concepts, signals and overlays, and the oscillator matrix. You can check the pin chat as well to get 30 days risk free. But let's change the optimized sensitivity, on the signals here to 16 like it told us. But remember, we did get that 3 signal, which is one of the stronger trend continuation signals on the price action on the signals and overlays. And my goodness, we talked about this before. 4 is the highest signal that we can get. Last week on Thursday, we talked about, this is a 4 signal. What are we going to wait for on gold? Well, we're going to wait for our classic setup, right? BOS, break a structure, into a signal, right? Into a smart trail flip, into a change of character, right? Well, guess what else happened? Boom. You had a turning point on the bearish side, and you had bearish money flow occur all at the same time. Change of character flipped right here on this candle. If you would have taken an entry off this level, right, you could have put your stop above this high on the 4 hour, above that order block, and then you could have targeted 2 to 1, which is what I go for every single time. I go for a 2 ratio, right? 2 ratio would have hit within, middle of next week. Sorry. So I was looking at, the 21st. I wasn't even looking at last week. Last week, we were already in this downtrend. That's what I thought we were. But again, going over this again, 4 signal, that's something we released last week, was the AI signal classifier. So seeing that 4 signal now, noticing it line up with this, we have a nice 2 to 1 off of that. That's the setups that we look for. So going into from last Thursday though, sorry about that. What's up, Brad? Welcome back. We already went over ES. We'll touch back on that again. If you guys want to look over certain assets, post them in the comments right now or in the chat, and we will touch on them shortly after we go all over the majors here. So again, last Thursday, sorry, I should have looked more into where last Thursday was. That makes more sense. The 28th, we were right here. When we were looking at this last time, we already hit this big downtrend. But let's see here. How do we, say, hey, we want to trade this lower? Well, First of all, we need everything to line up again, right? We want to see an extension of the RSI. We want to see, of the oscillator. We want to see if this comes back and resets, right? We got the reset here on the oscillator to head lower, but we also, we also got a 3 signal. So with that 3 signal, the money flow is still aggressively coming in bearish, right? We could take a short. We could take a short off of that. Wow, it's so low. What are we going to do? Well, the oscillator reset, came right out of the extended zone again, then had a massive sell-off. So you could have hit, a 1-to-1 here if you wanted to. And that's where we always talk about your risk to reward and understanding for the risk to reward, what you need to do. Where's price at the time? Why, if I'm going to enter something here, I'm not going to go for a big trade. This is a 4-hour. Sure, it's a 4-hour chart, so I might go for a smaller trade, 1-to-1, maybe 1 to 0.5, something it's a little less risk, but I'm going to be able to take it because, it's telling me that it's bearish. I mean, you saw we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candles in a row. So just understanding where you are in the market, where's the oscillator sitting. If I'm going to get a scalp, it's a 4-hour. Obviously, on a smaller time frame, I can still go on a bearish sell-off and be fine. So far, like we said on gold, 1800 to 1810. That's the range we're looking for that support. If we want to, get a nice bounce and then potential trade setup. So the hyperwave, honestly, I don't know if it's closer to the stochastic or the RSI. It was honestly built from the ground up. So it's a completely new oscillator with the but just looking at it, obviously it's similar to like a MACD. It's similar to more of a stochastic in a way. But it's calculated completely different. I don't know how it was coded. I'm just pretty much a user of this. But overall, it's just from the view of it and the way it operates and actually shows us on the calculation is similar to like a MACD or a stochastic. But I don't use it the same way as those are. But I use it just with what it tells me. So I'm not changing any settings or nothing. It's all default on that. So let's go over to Bitcoin. On Coinbase, 4-hour, and Bitcoin this weekend had a lovely run, which is great. So let's get into it. Bitcoin on the 4-hour. All right. First thing we see, right? Last week, first, let's go over a trade. We talked about this. This is exactly what we talked about, and it did exactly what we did. If you guys were in this live stream last week, let's go to last Thursday here, which is awesome. Thursday, we had this big pump. So early last week, we talked about this. We had, remember, these order block rejects, right? We had, this small little retracement. So yeah, guys, just if you want us to look over anything, like you want me to look at Amazon there. We see crude oil. We want to look over that. If there's anything specifically, we got S&P Mini. We'll look over that. Anything specific, just put it in there. Please no low caps. Anything that's like has a high cap or good volume. So we're not going to look at any penny stocks or anything. But again, this was last Thursday we were analyzing this. But again, last Tuesday we were saying, okay, we need to see, right? We need to see a change of character again and the smart trail to change with a signal. So guess what? We got a 3 signal. That's one of the stronger signals. Remember, 3 and 4, stronger trend signals. We got a 3 signal here. We had a bounce off the smart trail, and we ended up saying, hey, we're going to target that upper order block. Well, guess what? It hits that upper order block shortly after Thursday afternoon. But then, look, we get another retracement to the smart trail into Saturday. Did we even touch it? We didn't. We're just continuing here. We got a turning point on the oscillator and oscillator flip here. So if you would have waited, till like Saturday, you could have taken a long like off of here, setting your stop below the smart trail or below this lower order block. Go to starting with a 1-to-1. See if we blow through that order block. We do. Let's see how high up this went. So far, we would have hit a almost 2-to-1, 1.5-to-1. But again, that's a longer stop, understanding my risk, right? That order block pops up here. When did that order block pop up? Let's see. We got the money flip. Everything here was on our side. Signal, reset, money flip, oscillator, turning point. We would take an entry there. Now we set our stop below this order block because a new order block formed. So now we can let it run even more if we wanted to. If we would have moved that order block stop, our risk to reward was 4-to-1. So a massive trade on that front. Or we could have taken profit when we extended something like this on a turning point. So it would have been right there. But for now, for Bitcoin, what do we look for? First thing we look for is we got a signal, right? Since we have this signal, we want to see a nice break of the smart trail here. So let's get a break of that smart trail, and then I'll be looking bearish, right? Remember, a 2 could be a retracement. 1 and 2s could act as retracements. Look, I'm not going to trade a 2 unless it breaks that smart trail. See, it broke the smart trail, and what? We had another leg down. Then it settled off, and then we hit a 3 there. So if we want to trade this long, we need support on the smart trail right now. Notice the oscillator has reset. It's below 50 now. If we get support off this 27,000 level, which was previous resistance, which is just normal, normal analysis, we're showing a little bit of buying back at a previous resistance that we rejected. You can see here. If we were to take, a nice little box here, if it'll let me have it. We take a nice little box here, we could say, hey, this is an area of previous resistance. Resistance can turn into support, like always, right? We put on price action concepts, that order block that was there, guess what? Instead of drawing that myself, I can go into the price action concepts indicator and I can say show breaker blocks. And guess what happens? Let's see if it pops up. It should pop up. It was a breaker. There it is. Boom. There's our breaker block. Remember, previous resistance, it rejected that block. Then it broke it on this big impulse here. It rejected an upper breaker block, but came down, and now it's trying to show support off of that. If it does, and we get another 3 signal, you're probably going to get a nice setup to move into these upper levels that we're seeing here. And that's if we wanted to put the show breakers on. But in my, I've done this for 7 years or more now. I noticed that resistance already. So I don't need that to be all over my chart. I'd rather see active order blocks at the time. So it really depends on your, situation, how you trade. If you like the breaker blocks, use the breaker blocks. I don't like them as much as some people do, so I don't use them. But oscillator reset. And we're looking for that support here now at 27,000. So we get a signal here in a little bit, which we will probably get one if we shift structure. Sorry. Yeah. No, we haven't gotten a change of character to the downside. So we probably will get one if we break this lower high here around 27,700. 27,800 above that, I think we could maybe go and get that breakout again. So Bitcoin, still bullish, not entirely bearish because we're retesting that resistance, potentially making it support. So let's see what we get from there. Next up, let's go over to Forex, hit up our Euro USD, and then we'll move on to what you guys have asked and lower time frames. So this thing has been in a massive downtrend. I'm going to take off the price action concepts because this is just an indication now that this thing just wants to sell off. We have a level down here, right? 102,438 that we could consider, but that's pretty far off right now. So looking at just price action concepts, looking at just signals and overlays, we have another trend continuation signal, 3. We had a 2 here. Remember, reject smart trail. Boom, 3. We had another leg down. We broke the smart trail here finally. Never showed any action off that smart trail. Broke this 3. Now we're heading lower. We're showing a little bit of support here. Is that a previous level? I mean, yes, it's bounced there before. It's bounced here. It's bounced here. If we go to, earlier we talked about how significant. I mean, this is on Thursday. Let's go back to Thursday here because this is kind of cool to look at. So Thursday we had this signal. We were in the middle of this playing out, right? If it's still there, I don't think it is. Is it there? Yeah, we did break that order block. So going back, this is a good example of when order blocks might be significant or not. You'll see here there was a 4-hour order block that just broke recently. If it'll show up. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? I didn't even have it on. I'm dumb. All right. Let's see going forward here if we broke all these. There you go. So we had these several order blocks lined up. Now, I have the hide overlap checked off, but if you were to check it on, we can see here high volume order block, right? But notice before we talked about this, we've bounced off of this 1, nearly 2, 3 times already before we had this massive move up, right? 3 times already. This is the 4th time it bounced. So we did talk about on stream, like, because this is the 4th time it bounced, if this comes and retests it, more than likely it's going to break just because of the amount of times it's revisited this level. So it ends up breaking that level, right? So, but guess what? It's still kind of sitting there. It's not far off. So if we were to, take off hide overlap, I'm curious if there's some still there, which I'm pretty sure there is. Or did it break all of them? Might have. Come on, loading slowly. Yeah, I guess it did break all of them. So it did break all of them. Makes sense because we only have a limited amount of order blocks, and this has been a massive downtrend. So at the moment, the volume isn't really there. So this continuing this trend is definitely weakening. This trend is overall because it has such a big move down several times. So for now, if this holds that support, we've had several BOSs, right? We've had a bunch of break of structures. If we get that change of character with a 3 signal or a 4 signal, and then the oscillator comes back and that money flow flips, well, then we have a nice potential setup after that. So let's see if we can get a nice setup on the Euro USD pair if it can get back over 105. So 105 would be that level in which I'm like, all right, we might get it. We might get a nice setup if we can get over that. So 105, if not, break that low, we might continue. But for now, it's been so bearish, it's hard unless you get a nice oscillator reset like we had here. Oscillator reset here. Then I could look for, maybe a potential short setup. But so far, just chilling. Let's go now look at some of your suggestions. I know the first one was, I think, crude oil. Let's go look at crude oil because it's been on a tear. We're just going to look at crude oil futures. And it's kind of been settling off up here, right? So last week we had Luke on, right? And this is a great setup in Luke's eyes because what happened? They sent price through these highs to grab that liquidity, and now we have a change of character. So right now, on crude, I would be looking for a bearish setup. So in the time being, let's optimize our sensitivity to 18 like it's telling us. Make sure we're getting the right signals here. So seeing this with a bearish break on the smart trail, I'm thinking, okay, what do I want? First off, we have that change of character after a BOS. That's step 1. Step 2, we wanted to see a signal. We got a signal. It's a 1. Okay, 1s can be retracements. So if that would have bounced, would have been good. But we're still in a bearish signal. So we broke the smart trail. Things are lining up, right? So if we get this retracement back, I want to see that oscillator come back and reset with a turning point. Then I'm going to take my short, probably target like this lower order block. So for now, it is in consolidation. I would look for a short so long as we get a nice reset on the oscillator like always and we get some type of lower high up here or even now. I don't like this very small 4-hour trend that's forming. Would you like to long now that SPX? We're going to look over at ES here in a little bit, and SPX, obviously the same thing for the most part. But again, very small trend. This isn't a big trend. So that one signal there is acting as, that little retracement type setup. So small trend. We did break that smart trail. Like I said, I probably would want to see either lower high form here or another lower high setup so that oscillator resets around the 50, and then we get a move down. The reason why I like it though too is because notice we had that strong bullish money flow, we had a higher low form, and then we had a nice turning point in the extended level of the oscillator. So in my opinion, this is just getting exhausted of being up here. So we need to see that next lower high, something a little more aggressive with money flow hitting the threshold, which as we can see here, look, money flow hit the threshold. Money flow hit the threshold. We need to see money flow increase. Not necessarily has to hit that threshold entirely, but it needs to be bigger than this. It needs to be a lot bigger than this. Something like this. That bigger cloud will definitely help. So love to see that. On crude oil, 90 is probably psychological. If we were to pull up, let's do a Lux Algo supply. I like the supply and demand anchored. So if we were to pull up supply and demand anchored here, let's just pull up this chop level when it first found support right here. Boom. Why isn't that showing up? Do I need to move it more? Oh, did I have the wrong? Can I go here? Hold on. Let me pull up another. I don't know why. My trading view in general has been having connection issues. Other indicators are that one's working. But again, if we were to just pull up, let me just pull up. Where is it? Profiles. Let's just do a auto anchored volume profile, which is a new one. Which is not what we want either. We just need the regular profile. Fixed range, session. Let's do fixed range. Can I now? Here we go. Give me that. There we go. That's what I need. Boom. Okay. Sorry about that. So notice the 90s, right? The 90s in this consolidation was that peak volume, right? So, we're sub that peak volume. So I want to see in the 90s some type of, buying or selling going on. If that buying or selling occurs, then maybe at that point we get that rejection. Maybe we get that potential entry point. If we were to pull on the, the fair value gaps, we probably have some imbalances to fill from this impulse. You can already see one right there, and we're in one. So again, we had, a retracement here. We have a fair value gap that we're continuing trying to fill. If this fair value gap rejects here, then, maybe we head lower. So let's see if we get, that reject, and then on crude oil we target, this lower order block here and potentially break down. Let's see. We had NASDAQ was a call out, MNQ, micro NQ, Amazon. Let's see. Yeah, let's check out Amazon first. That was the next one that was up. Go to 17. Let me take off these fair value gaps because I like them. They're better just trading more intraday, in my opinion. Okay. So Amazon, we had a 1 signal after a nice reject up here. Remember, I have the overlaps on so we can see more significant levels, but for now, let's take that off. But notice what happened. If we take that off, we had an order block we were rejecting from this previous high. Perfectly placed for a nice reject setup. We got that reject. Let me hide the overlap now. We come now, got that 1 signal. We sell off. We have that change of character after that gap down. And now we've hit that lower order block, right? So extending, turning point here, 1 signal, flip. You could have potentially, with everything lining up, potentially taken a trade off of that. But for now, on Amazon, this level is significant, very significant level. So we're going to keep all eyes on the 125 level on Amazon. It's bounced here. It's bounced here. It's bounced here. Several times it's bounced. We have higher sell volume that was here, which means those sellers might be exhausted. So buying might be the place so buying might be good at this level, or what we see, which we've already seen right here. So again, we're testing this level again. What I don't like is that we're testing it for the 1, 2, 3, 4th time. Sorry, 5th time. So this being a 5th time retest is tough, especially with the market. We look at ES, and we don't like that, you know, the 4 hour. So we don't like that the 4 hour looked extremely bearish because we had that reset on the oscillator, right? So Amazon is in that boat. It's going to fall at the same time. It'll probably fall, through this level, especially on a 5th retest. But again, we don't know until it fully breaks that low, right? We're going to break the low of this order block here before we head lower. So for Amazon 125, what you're going to want to see, once again, is a let's get our boxes back. We're going to want to see some type of breakout out of this. Bring this guy up just like that. We're going to want to see a candle where it stays and bounces out of this order block, similar to what we're seeing here, right? Something where a candle closes out and then we look for a trade setup. But so far, since it's in it, we don't want to look for this trade setup until we know that it's confirming that level. So because the oscillator is still below 50, Amazon for now off 125 could be a good trade so long as we get a bullish day indicating that this level is secure. So next up, 125, watch that level on Amazon. Let's see here. Next up, we talk about, someone said NASDAQ. We had Amazon several times. The micro NQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ. We're going to look at MNQ first. For those of you who trade micros, look at the MNQ. Let me change that sensitivity. We're in a 10 sensitivity right now. We're getting that 3 signal. So this also setting up for a sell-off, big time. Setting up for a big time sell-off. Due to the 3 signal, if this closes and breaks, right? This breaks this smart trail. We have the oscillator that was above 50. That's not good. Oscillator above 50 as well. We clearly are showing resistance. Now, markets can do anything, of course, but when I'm seeing 3 signal, bearish change of character, potentially breaking this smart trail on this 4 hour candle, and the oscillator that was just positive turning now, the oscillator that was just above 50 now coming below 50, and the money flow is flipping, everything's starting to line up, right? Now, in my opinion, after this breaks, we do have this order block sitting here, right? So I would want to see how it reacts to that order block. So it is a low. So if that low gets broken, that'd be great. For the NASDAQ right now, I would want to see on the 4 hour, I want to see a break through that and then a lower high to take my entry. More than likely, you're going to get an imbalance, right? You're going to get a fair value gap that forms between that low and probably the next candle somewhere right here. So there'll probably be a fair value gap somewhere right here that forms that we could potentially use as a level of entry, right? But we'll wait to see once that's broken. But for now, we see the 4 hour like this. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's see how today on the MNQ does. We're seeing all of our levels, right? We have all of our order blocks up so we can see all the levels that might be significant. We have 6 and 5% down here. Today was hard. Today was a hard trade day, honestly. Remember, 10 a.m. we had news. We knew news was at 10 a.m. So we're gonna sit on our hands till that news comes back. Till that news comes out. So news comes out. Now we look for a trade setup. Well, no trade setups, right? If we would have, if you guys trade, like we said, the fair value gaps, it looks like there was one that could have been set up for a potential trade somewhere right here, with a lovely few rejects there. There you go. You rejected off that, had a leg down. But again, so far this thing hasn't shown me that it wants to go anywhere, right? We had this first initial sell-off with this break of the smart trail. But like I said, let me pull up the oscillator here. There is a potential if you want a more high risk trade to see this 3 signal, to see that turning point way up high, as well as the strong bearish money flow, and then to see this break a structure and take your trade there. If that were the case, everything is lining up bearish after that news came out, right? Everything was lining up bearish, especially with that turning point, all bearish. If you were to take any trade like this where it's still at a low, I would say set your stop loss behind or above that candle's high, right? This guy wouldn't have been stopped, and then you could have taken a 1-to-1. I wouldn't go probably past 1-to-1, a 1-to-1 or 1 to 1.5 type trade. So it's a very, very low end scalp. Very low in scalp. Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. Welcome, everyone that's continuing to join and filter in and out of here. NAS analysis. Yeah, we could do natural gas. Natural gas we'll do in just a second. But for now, we're on the MNQ. I'm going to take it over to the NQ because it's very similar, and that's something that I trade by itself, is the NQ. So we're continuing in that bearish money flow. So I honestly today, I didn't take a trade. I kind of skipped that morning session too, especially if there's news. If I take a trade, it's more in the later sessions like we're seeing now. But we're during lunch, so I'll probably look at the end of the day. Yesterday, though, might be worth taking a look. Let's take a look at, before this 3 signal. See kind of where our sensitivity was at, and then kind of look at what a potential trade could be. It was also 10 at the time. We had a bounce with a 4, right? We had a 4. Now, this could be the beginning of a massive move, right? That 4 is starting to tell us, okay, maybe there's a massive move coming. Seeing that the oscillator's still red, seeing that the smart trail's still red, I'm not a fan. Seeing that the money flow's still red, I'm not a fan. Nothing's lining up, so I will ignore that signal. Boom. That's why you ignore it. You get a 3 signal. Now here, something that's a little bit better. You got that 3 signal. You got a turning point that was above 50, right? Turning point that was above 50. You're still within this 5-minute order block here. You got a lower high, though. So here, low risk. You could have taken you could have attempted a short. It was at a low and there was an order block, but in my opinion, I want to see a nice little retracement for an entry. But I would have missed that, and it would have hit that 2-to-1. So, that's where I say is, sometimes, you could take that risk, but if you do take that risk, just do half your normal position size, or, maybe do, just 1-to-1, something lower. But yeah, again, seeing that lining up with everything else is going to tell me, hey, this thing potentially has a lot better probability of heading lower than it did when I had this signal line up, right? And I mean, this thing just went. So here you go. Here's an order block potential bounce, right? Order block here. You got this turning point. You got a reversal signal that formed with this exit signal. And then it busted right through it. And guess what? I wouldn't take it because the smart trail was red. And the oscillator was red. So this is where we always talk about, like, wait till everything kind of lines up for you. Because, I mean, it's going to teach you patience, for one. If everything doesn't line up at once, then, you know, wait for majority. Like, have a limit of the amount of confidence that you need to take that trade. So signals and overlay settings, someone just asked. I adjust my sensitivity based on the dashboard sensitivity. We're going to bring up the dashboard to normal. So whatever the dashboard tells me, I have it on that. So that's 10 there. So I put it 10 here. Smart trail, it's all default except for the AI signal classifier. I have that on with all the signals. Now, the AI signal classifier, if you only want to be alerted for, let's say, you know, if you only want to see 2 and 3, you can put 2 and 3 here. I only see 2 and 3. If you want to see 1 and 4, you can put 1 and 4 here. If you only want to see 4s, you can put 4. You want to see 3s, you can put 3s. My favorite one is 3. I do like 3 the most. 4 when they come, it's fun to see how it sets up. But 3 for me has signaled a lot more than 4. Auto configuration, because I want to see what it's actually supposed to be, the optimal. Optimal is what I like. I think it overall at the end of the day is better. But I only trade one asset. So like, I trade like the NASDAQ and the ES. So like I don't have to worry about looking through a bunch of charts. If you're looking through a bunch of charts and a bunch of time frames, then you might want to go to autopilot settings and do midterm or short term. That way you don't have to always, mess around with it. Now look at this. You had it on this autopilot midterm. You had a 2 signal. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying the autopilot's bad. But again, I just like to see with exactly what the dashboard is telling me. So as you can see here, this thing fired off beautifully. And then even here, that signal there fired off beautifully. So it's like the autopilot is very good. I think it's a great one. Let's actually get out of this so it resets. Autopilot works great. I like to use, just in my personal use case over the entire time I've used this, from honestly the very beginning, probably from year 1 I've used Flux Algo. I've always liked the optimized sensitivity. So that's just my personal preference. If you find that the autopilot works for you, then use it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's fantastic. It works very good. But I like to see, more signals with with this, because let's say I entered a short here, I get a signal here, right? Then I know that it's because it's optimized that that's a good exit point, right? But like with the autopilot here, obviously we're continuing lower with this signal. We're still continuing lower. But again, I mean, if the optimizer is telling me that needs to be an exit, there's an exit X here, but like that could be, an exit point. But again, it's just, it's preference. It's all preference. Let's see here. I got about 10 minutes left. We're gonna look at a few more. Let me turn off autopilot for now for me. Yes, I wanted to see less purple. I go back and forth on this all the time. Candle coloring, I have it on confirmation gradient, because like simple you've seen on stream, I'm pretty sure every time. I have confirmation gradient on right now because it does give you some early, like you can see you get greens and sometimes purple. I always switch back and forth. It depends, honestly, on how I'm feeling. But yeah, you can, either one is fine. But like here you can see like we're starting to get a green candle. So, maybe there's a reversal beginning to happen. It's like this here, when you get purple, sometimes if I wanted to trade a low, purple scares me. And look, here you got a nice move up after a purple. So like honestly, it's probably between trending and like if I want to scalp. Like if I want to look for a trend trade or like on a higher time frame, something that's going to trend, I'll probably just do the confirmation simple. But if I'm like scalping for the day, if I think there's a scalp setup, I'll change to gradient because then I'll get, the colors will flip faster and they'll give me an indication of how aggressive that move is. Because notice how it's dimmer here and brighter there, or it's dimmer here and then it's starting to fade. So fading there is like, okay, this trend's not going to hold, or sorry, the bullish move isn't going to hold very strong here. But we did just get a 3 signal. I would want to see, I'd probably retest of these down here. And then honestly, an oscillator. There were many. We went over Amazon. We have 30 days risk free. It should be pinned. Oh, I think we took it off. Hold on. It was pinned up there, but yeah, 30 days risk free, luxauto.com, or just visit the link in the bio. Link in the description. Antonia. But let's go into now ES, which is my main asset that I trade. And wow, so this is where, this is like what I like to see. So optimize is 11. It's probably not going to change too much, but it might. That's why the optimize is great. So it did change these exit points back here. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 obviously is the strength. Sorry. Okay. We're replying to some messages. So 1 through 4 is the strength, right? So consider 1 to 2 like weaker and 3 to 4 stronger. That's the first level of thinking about it. But then also take into account that 1 could be an early indication of a reversal. 1 or 2 could also both be early indication of a reversal. But again, it's like here. Like here it was a 2. It's set up with a higher low and then had a big move, right? So it's going to help out with, that early indication. Now, 3 and 4, stronger setups potentially for trend continuation. So 3 here, wham. 3, we had a reject of an order block on ES yesterday or early this morning. Reject that order block. If I would have woke up this morning and I was trading, I would have seen that. You could have taken a trade at 6 a.m., but I don't wake up at 4:30. So 6 a.m., that would have been massive down move, right? Reject order block, change of character, flip, 3 signal, whoop, right down. So, and there you go. Another level, bam, turning point, all of it, all together. That's perfect. 3, think trend continuation. There you go, boom. 1 and 2 can also be retracements. You might see them on big trend moves, right? Let's see if I can find a big trend move. These won't be optimized. There you go. 2. 3, move. 2, retracement. So I treat that, if it's in a trend, I'll treat that as an exit or a take profit, right? Wait for a bounce, get another signal, see if you get another leg up. This one held, broke, and then went out. But again, here, 3. I don't know, is that during the day? Yeah, it was. That was late day, 5 p.m. So that was after hours. But again, yeah, 3 sideways. You get the 1 went down. But that's all after hours volume. But again, retracement or potential reversal call on those. Right now, though, I wanted to go over this. This is a trade that I probably would have taken. I missed it now because we've been streaming. But if Icon has enough volume, Tom, we'll look at it, okay? We'll look in a second. In this case, though, bearish trend still continuing on the smart trail. Turning point up here, bearish money flow. So you had 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we were in a 2 signal, but this is where it's like, this was super weak of a move. News is driving this lower. If I was going to scalp, I would have scalped right here. Gone for a 2 to 1, which is going to be this low, looks like. Yeah. So right now with this scalp would have been 2 to 1. 1 to 1 there would have hit. I usually take off half of my position at a 1 to 1. Then I target 2 to 1. But here, now you can move that stop right below that, little bit of a lower high there, and then just let it ride, honestly. But everything lined up there to continue this trend. We didn't get a signal with that 11%, but we did get this reject that absorbed that previous candle with price action. Oscillator was extended on a, like, this barely retraced, right? And then the oscillator just got extended. So seeing that, I know that this market is very bearish today, right? So seeing that, you could have taken a trade right off that turning point, which was here, and then gone for that 2-to-1 scalp setup. So 5 minute there, that's a 2-to-1 scalp that I would take with very low risk. Would be right off this candle. If I saw this, I would have taken that. And then, like I said, 1-to-1 is usually my first take profit. And then I go to 2-to-1, which would be this low now. But again, at this point, my stop would have been dropped big time. So far in this move, we'd be up 7 points, which is huge if you guys actually trade ES. Like one lot on 7 points is what? 1 point is $50. So pretty awesome. There's that 3 signal coming in, and looking for that retest of the low. I'll look at Icon right now and see. I'm assuming you want to do the spot. I don't even know what you want to look at. What is Icon? I don't know what Icon is. Is it ICX? Someone tell me. I don't trade anything but the majors in crypto. I don't know what yes means. It's at ICX. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Probably see. This is what I'm talking about. If it's low volume, I'm probably not gonna look at it. ICX, USD. Any of these have? See. I'm not gonna look at. This is all gonna just move off of some big buyer. Yeah, let's look at nat gas. Yeah, sorry, it's not worth looking at that. Anything specific on nat gas you want to look at? Because like there's several. We could look at the natural gas future as well. NG. Yeah. Would you rather look at the future or like actual like Pepperstone? We'll look at Bitcoin too. And actually, I'm gonna go over the future of nat gas that we were just on, and then we're gonna hand it over to. We're gonna bring Mickey in here as we hit that hour mark, and then I'll take over one last time at the end, and we can go over some last minute things. Sorry, Tom. I mean, it's just those low volume ones. It's just not gonna be great to look at, just because anybody can come in with a buttload of money and just take you out. So, all right. Natural gas. Nice little massive uptrend, which is, I'm sure, following overall with what's it called? Oil. We got the 15 sensitivity that we're going to adjust to, of course. We were in a huge chop. Massive chop recently. All last week. Back and forth. You could have traded a range. Guess what? We've talked about this a million times. If you want to trade a range, you can go into signal mode, contrarian, and you'll get your contrarian signals, right? So contrarian signals there, the ones, like we talked about before with the reversal, the ones there would have set up nicely in the threes, ones and threes. Boom. Guess what? We knew it was in a trend. We knew it was in a range. So we got a nice exit off this. That's crazy, actually. Look at that. With the so if you can identify that it's in a range, like, man, you can hit these lows perfectly with the contrarian signals, which is awesome. But overall, big range there last week. As of now, we gapped out of this on this morning. Holy crap. I see why you want to look at natural gas. Big gap up. Let's go to the 5-minute. Big gap up on that gas this morning. Big move here. Big volume coming in. So coming into, the opening bell for natural gas. And what do you want to look for? I'm going to, sorry, let me flip this back to confirmation signals. So seeing this here, we did have a good setup, right? We had this BOS down here. What I'm gonna do too, and we talk about this all the time. I'm gonna turn off the swing ones so you can see this BOS a little more. Pre-market had that BOS. We had a change of character, right? Change of character came into play. We had this BOS and we had a 3 signal. So getting that change back, right, into a 3 signal, what do we need left? We need this oscillator to change on the money flow. And we need a turning point around 50 but above it, right? So right here on this turning point and the money flow flipped to green, we now have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4. 4 levels of confluence. This is a breakout trade, right? So this would be a breakout on this turning point here. Set your stop previous high or low. And for me, I target, 2-to-1 and 1-to-1. So here's your 2-to-1, which would have hit on that massive move, which is awesome. If you would have taken, a 1-to-1, which is right here, you'd be hitting, on that first move. So let's go back to the 1-to-1. In this case, because it is a breakout, I would go 1-to-1 always. You're looking for that quick move. It's already a breakout. You're not really getting a low entry. So since it's a breakout move, I would take 1-to-1 at all times. That way you can just up your stop, to lower the candle or like right below your entry. And then you can get a nice move. Just because it was that breakout is where you would have gotten your entry. That's why I would take the 1-to-1. So nice little trade could have occurred there just on what we normally talk about here. Overall, nice consolidation, moved up. If we go to the 4-hour, if we want to talk about, what's to come on the NASDAQ, let's go to the daily and see where we're at. NASDAQ on natural gas. The daily chart here, you can see it has been in a massive range. If we pull up a volume thing, we could probably see that today. Yeah, wow. It's halfway through the day, and this is like a full day's worth of volume. So you're probably going to see something similar to this. It's probably going to be that high, but it's going to be more of a volume spike, probably up over since last week on the daily here. Let me get rid of the volume now. But, right, we have a significant level that it is currently acting as resistance, right? So, like this reject that we had before. What happened today? If we would have noticed that, it happened back here too. If we would have noticed that, we would have seen it on the 5-minute as we are, approaching it. So I would wait to see if we can break through this level. You can see we rejected it. There's that candle here last Thursday. So I would see here how we act up here again. Do we get a pump like we did here when we went and tested that? Do we get this pump? That's kind of what I want to see is that initial breakout. But for now, the trade is already gone if you're a day trader, I would say. If you want to go short, I would look for, a reject off this order block. You have that change of character when it broke that structure, but it did bounce off the smart trail. So there is a way to hit a short here if you get a reject here, because oscillator is starting to reset. Everything but that smart trail would be in your favor so long as you get a signal and you don't retest that high. I think you'll be good. But again, it's at a pretty interesting level So you might actually get a big breakout, especially with these two volume spikes here. So let's see how it moves. You're right. Yeah, the 4-hour money flow turned down right here, but it's coming back now. See how weak it is? The money flow is super weak. So like, just because it turned down there, it's still super weak. If it would have broken down aggressively instead, like this, then I would have looked short. But for now, long is the route you would be looking. You have better odds on the long side, but I wouldn't. There's no entry at the moment. But see if you get that breakout. That'd be cool. But I think that's good. I went a little over time there, and I think we're gonna hand it over to Mickey for a minute, and then I'll be back end of stream. I appreciate you guys hanging around and chatting. We'll make sure to go over, as many as we can, so long as you guys want to see, certain assets. But before we pass over to Mickey, always remember, if you are interested in the indicators that I've been looking at here, I would suggest go to our website, luxauto.com. The link is in the description. You can get 30 days risk-free right now. Also, you can use code LUX30 to get 30% off. But I would highly suggest hitting that resources tab. Go to guides in here. This is completely free. You can learn about each feature that our indicator suite provides. So if you want to learn more about the oscillator matrix that you've seen, price action concepts, signals and overlays, all the information on these are there. We even have, we have it updated for the new AI system as well that's implemented in here. So yeah, just go check out the resources guides tab, as well as the new library. When you're in here, we have a bunch of free indicators we're constantly releasing. So you can see October 2nd, we release another free indicator for you guys. We're releasing them every single week. Again, though, remember, we release these indicators all the time. So when it comes to updating, not a lot of these indicators get updated unless it's like a super popular one, or we notice that there's, a very common bug or something happening. So upon updates, yeah, if it's something like, smart money concepts, this is our most popular free indicator, and the ICT concepts will update it when we have the chance to update these. But most of the time we're spending all of our time working on the premium indicators, in which you've seen today on my charts. And I personally use them in my own trading, and we're constantly releasing updates like we just talked about with the AI signal classifier released last week. So constantly trying to change and make these indicators better for you guys to get the best analysis you can out of this entire suite. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll hand it over to Mickey. So Mickey, are you ready to go, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let me full screen you there and get your screen up here. One sec. And let's see here. Boom. Take us away, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much for your detailed scalping method. I've learned a few things here. I'll probably go away from 4 hours and go back down to 5 minute and trade with you, right?
Heck yeah, come on down.
But anyway, we have the dollar index on the 4 hour. I won't go too much in detail on the 4 hour and the symbols I scan every morning. I think everyone knows by now what we do, Jacob summarized that by going through the 4 hours and the daily and see where we're at and where we're going, But today I wanted to go over the AI classifier a little bit and how we can massage the charts to create our own strategy. And after that, I want to go over to the Luxalgo premium price action concepts and go over some order blocks, go over maybe an asset on how to trade a simple 4 hour order block template, and then we'll shoot it right back to Jacob, okay? Now, for the AI classifier, what it is just a method that's used to classify signals between 1 and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It just indicates the degree of strength. 1, 2, 3, 4. Meaning 3 and 4 are the stronger ones. 1 and 2 are the weaker ones. Okay? Now, the common settings for the signals and overlays are confirmation signals, okay, versus contrarian. Okay, so today we're going to talk about confirmation signals, meaning the lower numbers of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 could be a signal that could be a little hint of a possible reversal, a pause, or a retracement. Okay, and on that note, numbers 3 and 4 could be stronger moves, right? Jacob loves number 3, right? A strong move. Number 4 is just as good. But I'm in the Jacob's camp, meaning I kind of like 3s more than 4s, right? So if you can plot this out, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 starts to move, 2 increases, 3, we're off to the races. 4, maybe we have that one more pump and it dies down, right? So maybe 3 is the sweet spot, okay? So here's my dollar index on the 4-hour. I am going to peel all the colors and the fancy indicators off, right? And we'll just add one by one. All right, here's the dollar index. Let's go over to the settings of signals and overlays, okay? Today we are going to talk about confirmation simple. Okay, let's turn on confirmation simple. Signal mode confirmation plus exit, excuse me. Okay, we'll just wait a little bit until the chart loads up the signals, all right? Now, you see all these signals, right? This was the previous version. It is still good. There's a lot of members that are still using this feature, right? You have a buy plus, stronger signals as opposed to the regular signals, just as effective, okay? Now let's turn on the AI signal classifier, okay? Give it a little second. Now it is showing in the advanced settings 1, 2, 3, 4. It is showing all 4 values, right? So now it gives the chart a little bit better visual, right? Now it means something, right? So where do let's take a look at these numbers. We have 2s, right? And we got a 3 here, we got a 2s. And the buy signals, 3s, we got a 2, 3s, and 4. We have a 4 here. So what this tells me is we have stronger buy signals versus the sell signals. Okay. According to that, we're in an uptrend based on these signals, okay? Now, let's improve this chart visually. Let's start adding a few more other features, okay? Let me back up. Optimal sensitivity is 10 on the dashboard, and this is what I've inputted on the settings, 10, okay? Now let's add smart trail, okay? Let's take a look at that. Okay, now let's create a quick rule. I want to take higher signals, 3 and 4, in the direction of a trend. So the smart trail will be my trend indicator for now. Okay, here is a 3. We are in an uptrend per the smart trail. Nice, good scalp. Okay, here's another 3. Here's another 3. That's pretty good. Here is a 4 just about formed, okay? We're in the beginning, not just yet, okay? Here's a downtrend. Here's a 2 and a 3 during a downtrend smart trail. Nice. Here's a 3 against the smart trail. I'm not going to take that, okay? So now I am starting to filter out these signals. Pretty good so far, right? Let's go a step further. Okay, let's head back to the settings. Let's say I want to only see the strongest signals in a trend, meaning I want to see signal 3 and 4 only. We can do that. Head over to the settings. We'll just leave the value 3 and the value 4 visible on the smart trail. Okay. It's thinking. There you go. Now the chart's cleaned up a little bit. Okay. Now let's take a look. All right. 3 in an uptrend smart trail. Okay. 3 going against the smart trail. I'm going to back off a little bit. Okay. I may take a trade here according to price action, right? But we have another 3. A retracement test, a pullback into the smart trail, and a 3 fires off. Awesome entry right here. Boom, off to the races. Okay. We have a sell signal 3 against the smart trail bullish trend. I'm going to back off. I have these 3 with the trend of the smart trail. I'll take it. Okay. So, and over here, we have a 3 sell signal with the trend of the smart trail, bearish smart trail. Okay. We have a 3 long entry against the smart trail trend. I'm not going to take this. Okay. Here is a 3 short signal with the smart trail trend, but that's short-lived. And I'll show you how we can avoid that too. Okay.
Yeah, Jim, the X's are take profit points. There can be a max of 3.
Right here. Here's an exit. Here's an exit. Here's an exits. Okay. All right. Let's head over to the settings here. Let's smooth this out a little bit. Let's turn on NeoCloud. NeoCloud is a smoother, longer term trend indicator versus the smart trail. Okay. And we'll just disable smart trail. And this may visually be better for some of you folks. Okay. To me, I love this. All right. Take a look at this. Let's take the signals in the direction of the NeoCloud. Check this out. Going all the way up. Okay. Here's a NeoCloud, bearish NeoCloud. Okay. We have one chop loser here because we are at the end of the trend here. Okay. How do you avoid that? Any indicator is not 100%, but we can do our very best to avoid choppy signals, quote unquote, false signals, right? We can look at layers, levels, key levels. What we could do is scan to the left, scan all the way to the left, you know, add some levels. This is a 4-hour chart. We can add daily levels, right? There could have been a level right here, a daily level that we could have avoided, right? Simple, okay? So that is the AI signal classifier and how I use it. Now, someone mentioned in the live stream, what about autopilot? Now you're talking my game. I love autopilot because I do not take every signal on the surface, but I do like to see long-term signals so I can make my decisions during the trend. Okay. If we go back to the original chart, this is my setting. I have this on autopilot long-term, and I have all the signals. Okay. Confirmation exits. Why do I have it on long-term? Because this is a 4-hour chart. This is my bias entry chart. I want to know where I'm going during the day. So signals is not that important on this chart. It is important on a lower time frame chart. So I just want to see what the bias is. We have a long signal. Neo Cloud up. That is as simple as it gets. To me, we've been in a long trend bias for a long time. That's how I use it. Let's scan to the left. All right. From June to July, 1 month, we've been in a downtrend all this time. That's all I want to know. Are we in a long trend or a downtrend? That's it. And that is the reason why I like to use autopilot long term. That's the sole reason. I don't use autopilot long term to make my entries. I just use it for a bias. Now on my entry chart, yeah, use your optimal sensitivity like I just demonstrated, and use it just like Jacob demonstrates it, right? You can fine tune your entry with that. Okay, so that's how I use the AI signal classifier and how I add each layer of features of the signals and overlays to create my chart. And then you can build around it. Okay, like this. I added the price action concepts, the premium and discount areas, right? Am I looking too long in this area right now on the dollar? Hell no. Maybe, right? Who knows? But right now, no. The answer is no. I'm going to wait for a retracement. Okay. All right. Let's head over to the price action concepts template. Take a look at what we have. Dollar index. I have just a basic 4-hour chart with order blocks. For those who know me in the VIP Discord, I do not like trading inside a 4-hour order block, meaning today. Look at today. We have some nasty action, okay? Don't like it. So to me, it means I'm staying away from certain symbols, right? Symbols that are heavily correlated to the dollar. Staying away for now, okay? But you can scalp these other signals on a lower time frame. But on a 4-hour, I'm staying away from the dollar. Okay. Let's see. Let's head over to, oh, here's a trade I've been watching in the room. And it just played out. Couldn't take it because I was getting ready for the live stream, but this is happening right now. So why not? Let's go over this. I actually posted this chart when this bar was heading into this 4-hour order block. I was getting ready, but you know what? Live stream's more important, right? But here we go. ES on a 4-hour chart, we have some order blocks. These are 4-hour order blocks. Okay. Here is a 4-hour order block. It's turned into a breaker block right now. That's created, I think, I don't know, early this year, March, May. Created back in May. Right? Why is it important to me? Why, Mickey, do you have an order block, for 40 years ago? Why? Because take a look at this. Look at this reaction. All right? It does mean something to me. Right there. Okay? Delete that. Okay? It means something to me. That was the play. That was the play last week. Rejection. We're taking longs above the 4-hour order block. Okay? Now, let's look at today. Okay? I was watching this when price was heading into this order block. I was waiting for the reject, right? I was waiting for this path. Well, that's not the path. That's a drunk path. I was waiting for this path. Okay. That did not happen. That did not happen. Okay. So what did happen today? Damn, I missed this one. This is what happened today. It busted through. I'm using the drunk line here. There we go. It busted through. Okay. Once it busts through, I am looking for shorts. I am looking for some sort of shorts. There you go, whatever. Okay? Now, this zigzag line also forms inside this 4-hour order block. You got to remember, this is a 4-hour order block. So these zigzags, ABC wave patterns are occurring inside this 4-hour order block, okay? So once you have a clue that's breaking below, let's head down to a lower time frame. Here we go. Let's delete those drawings. There you go, okay? This is your 4-hour order block right here, okay? 4-hour order block. Right there. I am looking for shorts. I am looking for shorts. Where's my short play? Where is it? Okay? If you are in the camp of market structure, change of character, a break of support, your entry is now. Break of support right here, okay? You are currently in right now, okay? But if you are in the camp of pivot fractals, highs and lows, which I am in that camp, right? Here is my entry when it breaks through, right? I went over these trades breaking below a 4-hour order block threshold in the previous live stream. We have a winner chicken dinner today. Okay.
What's crazy, by the way, was what I was saying earlier. If we weren't streaming, I would have taken that same trade in my setup.
It's right here. You know, I had this posted ahead of time this morning. I was watching it, but live stream came up. Guess what? I love you folks better.
We both right? both literally just went over the exact same trade that we were gonna do. That's awesome.
There you go. What is that? 53 ticks? Excuse me? Is that not enough for the week? Right? What is that? 12.50 a tick? We're done, right? Knowing me, I'm done for the week, right? All right, that explains the 4-hour order block really quick. Let me head over one more chart. Let's head over to gold, okay? Gold, these past two days, a couple days, it's been screaming bloody hell, dump. How do I get in? Where do I stop? What do I do? It's such a mess. I missed the trade. It is what it is, okay? But let's have a clearer picture. What is going on here, all right? Here's gold 4-hour. This is price action concepts default. Show last 5, right? And showing breaker blocks. Okay, but what about the stuff down here? All right, let's go ahead over to the settings. Show me what's below. Okay. Yeah. My original trick, right? Increase the order blocks, show breakers. Let me see all the overlaps, right? Let's see what we have, okay? It may tell a story. Wow. All right. Cool. Price right now is pausing a little bit. Why is it pausing? Wow, because of this junk right here, right? This. It's pausing. Okay. But price paused before this. Okay. No big deal, but you were aware of that, right? But what about up here? Okay. What's going on here? I don't see a level here. Okay. We have levels here and we have, well, when price was over here, there was no order block. So we have levels here. So this is wide open space. right? What's going on with this action right here, right? I want to know what happened here because this is wide open space. What is going on? Okay, so when we are on a 4-hour time frame, if you do not see levels up and down, what do? Right? You overlay a higher time frame order block on the chart, right? If I was trading 15-minute price action concepts, I would overlay a 4-hour order block on a 15-minute chart. Okay, we are now on a 4-hour time frame. What do? Well, let's overlay a daily order block on this chart. I added another price action concept. Let's turn that on. Here we go, right? Daily. Okay. All right, here's the daily. Okay, the daily did not form here. The daily formed here. Okay, let's circle that. Daily formed there. But guess what happened? Price came back up, rejected off a daily. And guess what? That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. All right. Oh, look what we have here. Price hit a daily order block, stopped it in its track, right? So now we move this circle from a 4-hour order block up to the daily. Now that makes more sense why this move took place, right? This is why this move took place. From order block to order block, from daily order block to the daily order block on a lower time frame of a 4-hour chart. Makes sense now, right? You can use the same concept on a lower time frame if you're scalping. You can use a 5-minute chart, overlay a 15-minute order blocks. If you trade on a 15-minute, overlay a 1-hour or a 4-hour order block. It will give you a better story. All right. Hope this helps. Little tips and tricks. It's hard to come up with, new tips and tricks every week because, you know what? Why fix what's not broken? This is a trick I use and it's not broken, right? The 4-hour order block scalping above or below the 4-hour threshold, that little line works for me. Once it crosses away from a 4-hour order block thresholds, that is the direction I'm looking for scalps. Simple, easy peasy. All right.
Nice.
Anything else, Jacob?
I mean, honestly, I got a little time, so we could hang out and look at these for a little bit. Maybe we're an hour and a half in, maybe go another 30 or something.
Look at this trade. Ah, Jesus, right?
I know, I was going to,
only me that misses this, but, for transparency, I took a swing trade. I love trading 4-hour charts. I do not look at lower time frames anymore. Right? I got a small stop out on GA this morning. No big deal, because the next trade would have offset that, and this would have been it.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, we can go back and forth on some charts and answer some questions. Brad, You said, can we set alerts using our base multi-time frame order blocks? Yeah, you can actually. So what you would do is, I'm going to switch over to my chart real quick, but you can leave your chart up there if you want.
Oh, okay.
We'll just go back and forth. What you can do on so you go to the 4-hour time frame, Brad. Then you go into your price action concepts indicator, and you set an alert that way. So you'll see my alert system on the app is set up. You'll see it won't load for some reason. It's not connecting on my browser. It will. but you will go into your settings, and you can scroll down and you can do a alert creator mode if you want. You could also just on the 4-hour chart hit the 3 tabs there, or 3 dots there, hit add alert on price action concepts, and then you can say, where is it? Bullish order block created, bullish order block entered, or mitigated. So when price enters an order block, it'll alert you. When it deletes an order block or mitigates an order block, it'll alert you. When one pops up, it'll alert you. You can do that for bullish and bearish here, but make sure you're on that 4-hour time frame when you create that alert, and then you'll see in your alerts on TradingView, it'll say 4-hour price action concepts bearish order block alert, and then you can do it that way. Or if you want to set a custom one, like we said, you can scroll down to the bottom, do like the alert creator, step or match setup as well, and then it has the order blocks in here within. Entered within bearish breaker. This has the breaker blocks, mitigation, and then just order block in general. So, yeah, you can set alerts for any of these features, which is pretty awesome for those of you that are asking. But in that time, as Mickey was going over, we had the same trade setup, which is awesome. And it looks completely different on my chart. But remember what I said here. We had the oscillator. We had that oscillator turning in the positive or above 50. We had that money flow still bearish. And like I said, we had the reject of the smart trail. Now, for a scalp, that's what I would take. And again here, 15 points. Like, these candles are massive today. They're just insane. 15-point trade is, wow. That, that is, I can calculate it for you right now. That is $750 on one lot. That should be right. Let me double check. Yeah. One lot, $750 on that small move. So these look like small moves. You can just tell based on the volume it is smaller because of the candle sizes, but it is big when it comes to your profit. So 15-point move off of that. If you would have taken a 2-to-1, like I said, remember we already hit that 1-to-1. We were looking for that 2-to-1 and that low break. That's exactly what we got with that setup with the exact same retrace. Now, if I were to bring up those 4-hour order blocks, like he was saying there, so I clicked 4-hour order blocks there. You saw that, right? I went settings. I went down to 4 hours, right? I have all my 500 up. Why isn't it showing up, right? So why isn't that showing up? So for what Mickey has done, volumetric order blocks, he has 500 being shown, or the max I think is a few hundred, but just put 500 or 1,000 or whatever, then you'll get the max. I don't know exactly what TradingView allows. This is not a Lux Algo limit. This is a TradingView limit on how many are allowed. But 500 is what I put. It should show all of them. But again, what you need to check is the show breakers and then uncheck hide overlap, right? So we hit OK here. If we go to the 15-minute mark, you'll see that breaker block shows up that Mickey had, right? So even here, it's a breaker block, right? So if I uncheck breaker block, you'll see that it disappears because it got mitigated. So you got to make sure that breaker block is up. And the other thing, like you saw on lower time frames, like the 5-minute, notice there's no order block. Well, the reason being is because look at all these other order blocks that are here. All of them, the max amount is being shown because there's a lot more price that it can pull from. So what you have to do sometimes, if you don't see it, there you go. If you see it, if you don't see it on your 5-minute chart, what you can do is, and this is a TradingView thing. It's just TradingView not allowing us to have that many on a 5-minute. It's not the indicator itself. What you can do is you can highlight that and then go to your 5-minute. And then there you go. You can trade in and out of it. But like even the 15-minute, like you said, it works really well for an intraday trade when you're trading, like a 4-hour order block. So man, what a little setup there. That was awesome that it happened on both of our own setups. But in the time being,
Someone owes me for missing this one.
right? So you don't. So when you go to the 5 minute there, your order block disappears too, right? I want to make sure that maybe I'm just silly.
on
Like
on the on the
so, like you
on
have
the
your 4 hour order blocks up there, like I can see right now on your screen. But when you hit 5 minute, does that breaker block show up or no?
it probably doesn't, because the way the mitigation works on a lower time frame, right?
Okay.
If it's not mitigated on the 4 hour, meaning it only wicks, the 4 hour candle only wicks it and comes back up, and it did not mitigate it. In that 4 hour wick, there is a small 5 minute candle that did close to mitigate that 4 hour order block, and
Ah,
that's why it does not appear.
gotcha. Cool. Yeah. Brad, talk about the confluence meter. Yeah, confluence meter is these bars you can see at the upper and lower half here, and really, it's just when everything's signaling on that on the bearish side. So like for in this case here, like everything's bearish right now down here. If you get a turning point on that that midpoint there, like, and then a reversal signal there, I could say, hey, I want to get out of this. But notice here it starts. If I just take a line here, you can see it started right here. Oh, it started right there. So like if I were to mark off where that started, it was here. So like I could have said, hey, there's that multiple level confluence occurring. It's very strong. So the brighter the color, the stronger that confluence is in that direction. So there is something interesting happening right now, though, at these lows that it would be fun to kind of watch. Hold on, I got a question. What do you think about market machine predictors and the advisor for news and volatility? Do you trade those? I personally do not. But again, the only thing that moves these is like everything that moves the majors is mostly news. Like the reason we're bearish today is because of the recent news, right? So a lot of this is news, and then we trade that intraday price action that is shown and given to us on the chart with our own parameters to make sure that we get a logical entry. But yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of cool things with TradingView specifically, but we're just going over our own setups that we really like. Sorry, taking a drink there. But yeah, so what I was going over was we have this break of structure, right? We just swept this low. So we're extremely extended. So there is a possibility of what Luke went over last week is, I don't know, I guess we are within. He loves the FVGs, but I actually have an indicator called the silver bullet. I think we're still in that window right now, aren't we? I'll check here. Yeah, we're inside that 2 to 3 p.m. window. So, if we get a big impulse here or something, we could potentially have a setup for a nice reversal trade, but we're going to need to recover that low and then show some buying, like strong buying volume, and maybe we'll get something. But for now, there's no longs in sight until we get something. But for look at the NQ, see how that's the similar. NQ, wow. So the NQ on the 5 minute has an order block. That's cool. Has a 4 hour order block. That's awesome, actually. Oh, that makes sense. So it's just pulling from its low last Wednesday. But this is it bounced off a previous breaker block, actually. So this seeing that breaker block there, seeing that a new order block formed, like on the 5 minute here, if it bounces, and holds that price, I mean, you could get a nice little bit of a retracement or something. But again, this is an order block if we stay out of, maybe there's an opportunity. But let's kind of, I don't know, just look at some other things that moved today. Obviously, the inverse ETFs are going to be good. We had BA. BA had a good morning. crude oil, obviously. Let's see. Exxon still at the 150 level, man. I've been watching that 150 level for Exxon. I want to take a long short at some point. Man, a lot of consolidation on the U.S. stocks. There's a few that moved today. Apple up and down all around. I mean, look at the fair value gap on Apple there. It's like that thing just. If you were to turn on your FVGs, this thing. Goodness. This is right at, yeah, look at that. If you were to just mark off, I mean, that's just awesome. Look at, so you don't even have to plot it yourself. It's just sitting there. That's the 50% level. Look at that reject. Now, again, though, if we take a fib, I wonder if the fib, if it's hitting that golden zone as well at that level too. So it's right outside of that zone. So just getting half of that, it rejects that exact line there. That's a great indication of a perfect fair value gap trade. You have a massive impulse with a huge, imbalance. We got to get some of that back, right? When we first see our bearish rejection, which would have been here probably, if I would have taken a trade with somewhere here. I mean that hit that perfectly. What do you think of USD JPY? Let's look at it. So it's indicator based on user requirements. It just depends. If I see like a big fair value gap here and I want it plotted, I'll put it on. It just depends on the feature I want to see at the time. But I use a lot of the default and then look through some other things. But let's go over to USD JPY. We'll look over some Forex here. Wow. Okay. Now, I don't really trade Forex, but that is aggressive. My goodness. You know anything about that, Mickey?
Forex?
Go to the Japanese yen against the dollar. The dollar against the yen. That's insane. Let's see. Jumps after US dollar breaches key 150. I mean, that is aggressive on the 5 minute. That's insane. He said autopilot. You're looking at it. Never mind. It bounced off that 4 hour order block though. See? Yeah, that spike there. Look at that thing. It bounced directly off that previous 4 hour. But here you go.
News release.
Yeah, I mean that's major though. That's like insane news. I mean, what even? FX intervention. Will bolts reload. Rebounds from odd post. Jolts plunge. Okay. Well, I don't trade Forex. I just trade futures, but I know that Forex can have those spikes like that.
Put a daily order block on there, and you'll see why.
Put a 1 day. I mean, the 4 hour even bounced nicely. Let's look at the daily. Daily order block. Where you at? There you are. Let's see the daily. All right. It wicked on yours? I might have a different. I'm on a different exchange, I think. So we might have different ones. Let me look at the daily chart. Wow. That's wild. So what a nice bounce that had off of that crazy news. But again, here, if we even pull up, I like the 4 hour there for Mickey's strategy on the 5 minute. I mean, you could have had a scalp exiting, like he said, or even looking for a higher, like looking for the first level of, price action setup, which would have been somewhere right here. Had a nice little 28 move there, but after a spike like that, I think it's pretty common for crypto. I know in crypto, any spikes like this, it jumps into some sideways trading, right? So you need some volume out of this to go anywhere else, especially after something like that. So I wouldn't consider in the current signals, we are bearish on this. Could you go over the famous BOS Chach alerts again, please? Like how to set it up, Brad? I don't know. What do you mean? Like the how to set it up, or let's look at the pound and the, what did he say? He said he wanted the alerts. Yeah, we can do that. He wanted the pound versus the Australian dollar, I think. GBPAUD. Yeah. All right. Now we'll look at FX. Let's look at this sucker. Okay, so there you go. There's a 4-hour on the breaker blocks set up. Let's change our sensitivity to 18. Like it says. We'll look over gold too. Yeah, gold I recently have been kind of like, man, I need to trade this. like I've just seen so many good setups. Okay, so I mean, here you go. Here's a British pound, Australian dollar. You got the 4-hour order block that got mitigated, right? So we got that retracement and bounce off that smart trail. Even let's just, let's take off the candle colorings, honestly. Let's get to the black and white, like price action gold. So 3 signal, bounce off smart trail, bounce off the 4-hour order block. Remember, if we go to the 4-hour now, we have the 4-hour order blocks that were printed on here. And look, that's coming from a previous resistance. This is a structure shift. So we had to change a character on that 4-hour. So getting that retracement on a lower time frame, that was almost a high probability long entry. So we entered in. So we came into it. You can see the little line there at the top of it. Had resistance. Came into it. Came back out of it. We had a turning point, right? We had a turning point on the oscillator down here. I mean, this was screaming take a trade. So this was earlier this morning at 7 a.m. Screaming take a trade. And you can set your stop loss below the swing low. Go for, upper 4-hour order block if you wanted to, which is here. That would have been a 3-to-1 trade. But again, you know me, I go 2-to-1. So here's your 2-to-1. Bam. So nice little move and setup there just by seeing the overall trend in the current situation. Let me just go back to simple, I guess. But nice move with that bounce off the smart trail and the 4-hour order block. So that, levels of confluence that we always talk about. So in the current situation, you are at a new 4-hour order block, right? So we want to see if this wants to reject or mitigate this order block. So if we go to a lower time frame, once again, we talked, Mickey just went over this. It's good, especially crypto. Forex, it seems like this works pretty solid too. Let's break that smart trail and then retest. So if we get a smart trail break here, get a retest and then a reject, so it goes ahead, starts looking like it wants to set that lower high with a signal. You got the oscillator already wanting to go bearish, because look at the money flow going bearish now. So that could be an early indication on that money flow that, hey, this might be setting up for that reject. So I would say get out of that order block on the 4-hour. 191814 would be getting out of that. Break the smart trail somewhere around there as well. Get a bearish signal, and you might be looking pretty. XAUSD. I mean, you tell me, ads. I mean, we just had a trade nearly live here on ES that me and Mickey just went over.
Hey, Jacob, if you have time, flip it back over to me. I want to show everyone something on the UJ.
Yeah, I got you. But ads, yeah, we had a short setup right here coming out of a 4-hour order block and for a 2-to-1, and we hit it beautifulay. If you go to that 15-minute, you can see this order block here it was a breaker block that turned into a nice retracement entry. We hit that 2-to-1, so you tell me. But yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to Mickey. He's got something for us. Let's see what you got. Go ahead. You good, brother?
Wait till my chart loads up on the stream.
We'll go over. We'll go over gold after he's done with this.
Gold. All right, here's UJ. 4-hour chart. I have the order blocks on. Right, based on this chart, there is really no way of entering. It's just screaming up. Right. I mean, you can't enter on these order blocks because these were formed a few bars after the move, right? The order blocks, come into play when they revisit, right? It did not revisit any of these order blocks, so it is tough to ride the train. We have one right here, retest. So I'm watching right now, today and this week, right? But for the past since August, since beginning, right? All this time, I have no entries, right? But let's go to the settings. Let's find some entries, right? If you do not have levels around your price, put on some levels, right? Have a reason to enter. Just don't enter blindly. Have a reason. If you show some levels, you have a reason to enter, right? All right. I have order blocks shown. I'm showing the breakers. Nothing, we don't have any breaker blocks because this move is just screaming high. There is no retest. But if we show overlaps, what do we have? Let's wait a few seconds. There you go. Let's squish this chart a little bit.
A lot of opportunity.
Yeah, lots of opportunity. We have a retest on an overlap order block, breaker block, right? Look at this move. We have a retest. All right, where's the next one? We have a retest. Where's the next one? We have a retest. Where's the next one? We have a retest, right? And we have a potential move right here, right? Actually, these should be not red, right? But you get the point. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Don't make it complicated.
5 easy long scalps, right? When it breaks the threshold of a 4-hour order block, go down to your 15-minute, right? You use your pivot fractals, higher highs, lower lows, or change a character or your breaker structure, scalp them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a potential 6. All winners, 0 losers on this chart. Okay? So that's basically how I trade. Back over to you.
Hey. All right, let's take a look at gold. Also, ES. I mean, we might get a setup possibly live. Like I said, if we took out this liquidity we've been selling off all day, took it out here, now we regained it. Well, do we get a higher low? If we look at the 1 minute, this I don't trade 1 minute, but you guys want to see like a signal already forming. Got the change of character after a BOS. You would get a really fast scalp somewhere down here. You get 2 point. What's crazy, these candles are massive, so you could get like a 6-point trade maybe. But oscillator too high, so we got to get that oscillator reset, right? We'll see if something sets up here as we continue. But let's. You were saying someone said gold. Yeah, let's go look at gold. Actually, I'm gonna flip over to the one we were going over earlier, so we can have this chart up automatically. Let's go to gold though. Gold with the 4-hour. Yeah, this thing, remember we said it was rejecting hard. But consolidation. Remember, we have all the order blocks up because we want to see all the information. So right now, I mean, we're just in heavy chop, right? I go to, we're set to 11 because it's optimized. But, let's look at where is it? Here, autopilot. Let's see what that's telling us right now. And, still choppy signals. So that's, that's the first level. We go over this every time. If you see signals flipping back and forth, you just say, hey, it's choppy. I don't know how else to put it. So I'm not going to enter if I continue to get signals back and forth. And my second level of this is chop is the smart trails are flat, right? They're flat. And money flows like dead. Look at this. You don't have any extension on the oscillator. Another level that you should always look for. A lot of times, if it's a trend, right, you're going to get an extension on the oscillator. This went below 20. And then it moved up and went above 80, right? That's typical levels on any oscillator. So it's like when I see those moves, I know that that might be trending, right? This hasn't touched any extended period on the oscillator, so there's no reason. That's a great way to identify whether a market is trending or trading sideways. Is look at the oscillator by itself. Like, has it hit an extended area recently? No, not one time. In gold right now, though, okay, let's say we have the chop, right? Yeah, let's go to contrarian signals. And then we have back and forth signals when price, when the signal algorithm is thinking, okay, this is a good extended level to, trade a range. Let me take off the smart trail because we don't need the smart trail because that's a trend following tool. So just the signals here. Once that'll change, I'm going to see if a contrarian gradient will come up for us. Bam. All right. Look. What if you just took 4s on here? Like this 4, we would have taken a short position off that high. Really, really, really tiny stop. Look at the amount of move we would have had there. We would have 10 points on that guy. That would have been a 10-1, which is nuts. Called the high there. Boom, fell off. This one, next candle, bounced 2 candles later on the 5-minute. Ran back up. Now it's in purple. Consolidation. So gold for now is pretty dead. We talked about on the 4-hour, still pretty dead. It's super strong on the overflow. So I wouldn't consider it an opportunity to trade, right? Let's look at back of the 1-minute. ES. Still just chilling up there in volumes. Yeah. But gold for now on the 4-hour. Even on the 4-hour, remember, extended price, right, turns green. Do you see any green that happened currently? No. So this just move is so like confirmed. Like this is like we're in a trend here. Another way you could identify a trend, honestly, look at this on like if you use just contrarian signals on the 4-hour. I mean, look at caught the low. It swept here, hit a high, swept there, hit a low. So in this case, I know that there's a range occurring. So it's like if it retests this level, maybe I look for a long so long as I get a green bar. It didn't get one. It stays purple. If it stays purple, it's not extending. So it's going to be in a trend. So there you go. I identified this entire trend due to the candle coloring on the contrarian gradient in price in the signals and overlays. So all purple in this, because that candle coloring is considered a ranging candle coloring, it's all purple. So I'm going to say I think opposite. It's trending when I have that one up. So that's another great way to be like, okay, this thing is totally trending. But let's go back to our 5-minute sit up here. Get our smart trail on there. Okay. Yes. The 5-minute. I mean, it's like we said, it broke out of this low. Low came back up. We are currently so if we were to pull up, let me see here. Our free silver bullet strategy, we're still in that window, right? We should have a fair value gap. Oh, maybe not. It's too small. Wait, do I have the right setting on for this? Hold on, I had too many of these on. Okay. Oh, we don't have the MS. I want to see the MSS. So we have a small little gap there, of course. This is the 5-minute. If we go to the 1-minute, maybe we have something too. But in my personal sense, I want to see, a retracement and a reset on this oscillator. This oscillator got to reset. So we just sit back, relax, and wait for that oscillator to reset. Might as well flip over to like Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin, what you doing? Big spike, recently on the 4-hour. 5-minute here. Man, meh. It's now showing its sideways action, but it's extending, right? So that's another way you could say, hey, not extended, almost extended, now it's extending. Hey, it's extending, so maybe we're going into a trend. 12 sensitivity. Maybe we're going to a trend now because we finally, the oscillator extended. So what do I want to look for? Look for a breakdown, probably retest of that low, right? And then a retracement. And then we look for an entry on the retrace. SPX 500, we went over the ES. I wish I could see that. SUI? Is that what that says? Sorry, my little heart button's in the way. I don't know why I have that. You guys should be the ones that have that. I think he's saying SUI. ES we were just going over, by the way. Same-ish as the SPX 500. So I trade the ES futures. So same thing as you saw there. 5 minute, still in that downtrend. But look, 5 minute oscillator reset. So if we get, we extended here. I want to see that oscillator come back down, then turn again. We get a higher low, right? We get a higher low here. That money flow might flip. If we get a signal as well, then forget the smart trail. Let's see if we can get a move. I mean, we had a very long bearish smart trail. Already rejected that smart trail. So there is a potential setup EOD here, end of day, that we might see. But so far, it's just too early. SUI, Sun Communities. Is that this guy? Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. We look at the 4 hour for this guy. I'm assuming this is what you wanted to see. It broke that low, so you got nothing but bearish moves that'll probably occur. Next level 108 to 106. These order blocks don't mess around, man. Oh, there you go. See, you don't even want. If there's no volume on it, I'm not really gonna. Maybe we could look at a higher time frame. Binance. Okay, 4 hours not bad. Okay, yeah, this has good volume. Okay, so this one's worth looking at. Green down the oscillator. Those are turning points. That's what we like to look for entries and for my strategy. SUI Tether, Binance. Get that silver bullet out of here. We currently are in a situation of one of my favorite things. Any time frame you want to look at, by the way? Dig. Let's look at the 4 hour for now. Flip back and forth here. Let's I'm gonna take off the breaker block so it's not too crazy. I'm gonna hide those overlaps too, and we'll see. Yeah, any time frame you want to look at, let me know. 15 and 4. Okay, we'll start with the 4 hour. 4 hour here, sadly, in that consolidation. I wish it would have bounced there. So for now, for the 4 hour, I would be a little bearish. You swept this high, right? And then you have a change of character. So I am currently would be bearish. I would want to see a retrace and then higher low once again. There's no reason to trade anything that doesn't have proper structure. So wait for that structure. You can sit around and eventually hit a really big trade. That's just part of it, part of the entire game. But 47 cents, you have, of course, a level here to watch for retrace. Sorry to sneeze. Previous high, right? Broke back below that. No higher low was formed above that previous high, so market structure was almost a guarantee shift. You did have a previous resistance, as you can see here, turn into a higher low, and it ran, but now it's might be shifting back. So look for a reject around the 47 area. And because of the oscillator returning, the one also being signaled, change character after BOS. I mean, everything's lining up for a short on this guy. But again, you want your proper entry, so you'd look for somewhere between 46 and probably 47. 46, 47 would be, if it shows you, would be your kind of short level. So the 1 hour. Nice little downtrend there. You said you wanted to look at the 15 minute. Look at 15 minute. If you guys want to look over anything, let me know. Put it in the chat, and we'll go over it. Autopilot first, or autopilot 15 on this sucker. Still in that bearish smart trail. Was in that order block there. Reject, broke down, went down. AMD. Look at some AMD. Love me some AMD. Had that thing forever. It's like $15 maybe. I had to go look back. That was one of the first stocks I ever bought. We got a higher low, then you had a higher high that broke out. Now it's breaking back down. You need a lower high. Then you're looking short on SUI. Remember, we do have this lower order block to target. So I don't know. Let's see. 15-minute. That's an interesting little setup we got there. Let's look at the. I'm gonna just keep an eye on ES here. I keep clicking on this one. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Close it out. Okay. So ES 5-minute. I mean, this is still showing bearish, right? Got that 3 signal again. What is that? Trend continuation. We get a turning point here. You know, you could take the very high risk trade. I'd be careful of shorting again, but I mean, this market's not happy, so you never know. You could continue. I mean, look at the 1 minute. That was a hell of a bearish move. Yeah, see if you get that turning point there. Could definitely indicate something. But yeah, I would look bearish more on SUI as well. AMD, let's take a look. AMD is also in that tech downtrend. It's been a massive tech downtrend. How do you use or interpret internal buy/sell activity on the you talking about on the order blocks? 17 was that optimized sensitivity. Let me put ES on here. One of these I need to leave it on ES. Let's see. AMD, yeah, still stuck in that downtrend. It did break out, so essentially, and I want to see if this supply demand. Let me see if this thing works. It's one of my favorite new indicators we released, but it was being. Oh, I can't spell today. Maybe it is this one. Yeah, this was it. Oops. So let's look at the. Honestly, I'll just take this little spot here. Yeah, it worked. Okay, cool. So a little bit of our volume profile to keep an eye on. So, you know, we have a little bit of an imbalance here that's retracing to. So 99, actually. There you go. This low here. So yeah, that does help you there, Brad. And we'll go over it again. We were talking about it earlier. But yeah, this 99.75 level. I mean, look, if you think about this too, what we can look at is also a fib retracement. So this is a lower high, right? We're hitting that golden pocket as well in the gap. So it would make sense for this gap to be filled, right? Imbalance right here. If that gap gets filled, you have this golden pocket, right? 1618 on the fib. So that would be setting up with the oscillator turning as well. I think overall that could be your very nice setup on AMD if it were to prove to you that it wants to bounce. So I would get a turning point on the bullish side. You want a green turning point like this green dot here, right there at that 50 level, and we might have a retest that high that had of what was it, 104, 105. Looks good. AMD. Fill that gap there, then look for a bounce in that turning point, and you should look good. So yeah, the order blocks you were saying, and I should have added them up. I don't know why I didn't have them up. There you go. There's a bounce on that order block there, which I don't know why I didn't have up before. So yeah, Brad, you have buyers and sellers of that order block. Like I said before, you want to see significant differences, in my opinion. Here, there's a decent amount of significance, but still, they're pretty close. So you could say anything could happen here. But like these guys, bigger significance, right? Massive difference. It's sold from this level. Now, I will say that a lot of the times you'll see them buy off of the ones where the sell is bigger and sell off the ones where the buy is bigger. That's just indicating that, you know, the sellers here might be tired of this level or exhausted, so the buyers will step in. But in this case, what we like to, you know, me and Mickey always go over is look for, you know, how it reacts to it, right? Does price go in it? Does it start showing, you know, a rejection? Does it start getting bought up? And then does it exit out the bottom again? Does it break through and break the block? Stuff like that can really help you decide on whether or not this is a significant order block or not. It's just look at reaction. They bounce, 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 and then it gapped up, right? Gapped up here, boom. You could take a trade there if you wanted, if that's all you trade is order blocks, and then you have that leg up. It's just a matter of hanging around waiting for it to tell you something. But a lot of times, yeah, I would just seeing those levels can really help. But the percentages, honestly, is a good thing to really watch. It's like 5%, 40 million. Like that's going to be significant at some point. 21 million, pretty significant, 3%. Anything in the 20s, like 40 and 20, significant order block. I would look at the actual statistic over this part. But yeah, that's gonna help you determine, more buyers or sellers could be there. But but you think the opposite. If this just bar is showing buyers, if this block gets broken, a lot of sellers might take it lower. But reaction is what we always say. Watch for that reaction. Price trying to hold up here on ES. But yeah, just messing around. He said USD SEK. I don't even trade Forex. I don't even know what the hell SDK is. What is SDK? Do you know, Mickey? SEK.
I don't know, but
I'm
really
Swedish.
ES.
The Swedish one is okay. I got you, Rogan. This actually had one of my favorite setups. I'm gonna bring ES on here. I gotta stop going back and forth so much.
The ES is bouncing because of a way back when order block.
Oh, is it now?
Way back.
What you're on 15 minute. What's that from? What?
I'm gonna tell you what level is that from here. Give me a second. I'm scrolling.
Yeah, where is it from? Goodness.
Yes. Yeah. It is coming from May
of
this year.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, cool. I mean,
why is it important? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, 17. Yeah, this is a interesting spot that we're still saying that lower high. So I wonder if it'll actually get another leg down or not. It seems like it could. We're about to hit that power hour here in 1 minute. But back to the Swedish whatever. Gets the dollar. This did have a nice setup. I mean, we like to see this is what we like to see in my strategy is that BOS into a change character. And we got that, but notice as well, like this is a lower high here, off of the high. The calculation was messed up, or it wasn't messed up, but because of this volatility at this level where it had this big reject, you had that change off of that news. So it had. See, the only thing about crypto that's weird, only thing about Forex that's weird and crypto as well is when you get those massive changes because of news, it's like you have to wait till price starts structuring off again to really look at a potential setup. So this is interesting. ES here trying to come lower here. I wonder if it'll retest that low. But you're getting a turning point in the positive, which is what we talked about before.
It's working off of that doji, off of that 4-hour order block.
You still got a downtrend on the oscillator as well. I'm curious here on the 5 minute if it just flipped too. If it does close low or not, or bullish or bearish, we'll see. But for now, I'd be bearish on this guy. You have a lot of fair value gaps to play with too, which is sweet. You'll see here if I turn on that fair value gap feature. Boom. So I would get a retracement after the change of character, probably one of these lower ones. Look for that reject oscillator, same thing. Get the oscillator, get a turning point to the downside, and then for a setup. So that's what I would look for. Yes, there you go. See if this thing goes. That'd be interesting. And what? Wow.
Yeah, this is actually the second setup on my chart right now.
I was about to say, yeah, I'm looking at it too. I just hate that I missed the one before. I hate how low it is. I actually got another signal on another strategy that I'm testing.
That's funny. I thought about entering too, but nah.
It's so low. That's a tough. That's a tough trade. You know.
I can't. You get distracted. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's a tough
Okay.
one. The reason it's tough too is because these candles are massive. Like they're news driven candles. So like, you know, an average candle on ES is not normally like this morning. That a 10-point candle, that's not average. Like average candles are like between 2 and 4 points. It's like 10 points. That's insane. Like yesterday, let's see here. Yesterday we had news too. This range there, you go 3 points for those candles. Like this initial move this morning, absolutely insane. It's like this range here, you'll see 6 points. Like yeah, it's double the movement. So you would say, hey, you know, I'm gonna trade way smaller position sizes off this. But for those of you that like the risky, like to be a little risky, then possibly here you go on that Swedish whatever, getting a retrace for that price action. But wow, what a we're getting a turning on that. That flipped back real fast there on the ES. I wonder what that's yeah, it's a 1 hour close into power hour, so you probably see some volume. We got the turning point that just that's possibly occurring on the 1 hour. So seeing that 1 hour is not too shabby, but that 4 hour, you know, that's tough. That is tough. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's no way I'd be taking any trade at this hour.
Right.
That's walk away.
Walk away, yeah, right.
So tempting. Tomorrow's another day.
Literally.
All right. Any other questions? What do we have here?
No, just
No new ones?
hanging now. Yeah, just we can probably close down whenever. Let me see. I was gonna go back and see if we had any other questions too. I mean, they're all good, Herman. I mean, I would just use one of the normal brokers. You know, depends what you're trading. We're charting on TradingView though. Charting on TradingView. 5 minutes, trying to get that turning point, but again, you had that real bullish change there. Let's see.
Don't touch it. Leave it. Shut it down.
Gosh, yeah, these candles are so big. So interesting enough, look at the calculation difference here on the extended hours versus the regular trading hours, guys. This is where I would say, you know, make sure you know what you're looking at. It all works on the same, just whatever data you give, obviously, to it. But you know, look how we're rejecting the smart trail on the intraday candles versus if I go to the extended, which is all hours of the day. I mean, actually, we are still testing that smart trail. Never mind. What the heck?
Yeah, look at you on the 4
Wait,
minute.
oh, it's a 4 minute. I was wondering what I was on.
What do you mean? Are you special?
I was like, that's kind of weird. Why was I? But again, there you go. Wow, look at this. On the regular trading hours, it pops. That order block does pop up. That we were talking about how you were saying it was bouncing. Remember? It was popping up there. Let me see. I got the 4. So yeah, there you go. Retrace, reject, got a turning point potentially, but look at the money flow decreasing. I'm not a big fan of that. I wonder where we'll head from here. This is tough. We got power hour coming in. Could have we could continue this trend. It's a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. But it's really trying. It is trying. There you go. There's this turning point occurring. And there's that reject on that dollar Swedish pair. A lot of these guys. Yeah, a lot of the stocks are also falling off a little bit. So curious. Retest his order block on the regular trading hours. This is pulling from users. Oh, we got a little bit of lag here. Hold on. Bear with me. This one's pulling from June. If we do non-extended hours. That's the other way, guys. If you do trade just regular hours, you want to see some order blocks, you can honestly, you could put in there, you could say regular trading hours. You could see, it'll show more order blocks because it didn't have all the data from the overnight periods. But I would recommend, honestly, leaving the overnight data on, because the more information you give anything, the more accurate it's going to be. So let's change that back to 17 here. Yeah, man, this is a crazy move here. Guys, got any more questions? Otherwise, I think we might call it here as the end of the day comes to a close as well. I got about 50 minutes left in market open for the U.S. markets, at least. But we wanted to go a little bit longer for you guys. We're hitting about 2.5 hours now, so I think that's a good stopping point. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. Anything else before we leave? Yeah, Brad, thanks for the questions, man. Glad we could answer some of those for you. Pretty soon, we're gonna do a opening bell stream at some point soon, so be ready for that. It'll probably be on Tuesday or Thursday, one of those days, because we do want to eventually get to the point where we do almost every day, if not every day. At first, it's going to be, just depending on how it works out. But we do want to do an opening bell stream, 100%. I think that would be awesome. I think you guys would love that.
Can I ring the bell?
Yeah, bro, you can do whatever you want. Well, we do face cams. There you go. That'll be one thing that we'll have you. I'll have to buy you a bell or order you a bell, send it to your house so you can ring it yourself.
Oh, can you imagine that? A cowbell. Here comes Mickey.
You just sit there at every morning at 9:30. Just ring it.
Hey, before you leave, let's show one more chart. Flip it back.
Yeah,
over
I
to me.
got you.
Want to show everyone
of course.
Bitcoin.
Heck yeah, you're on, my friend.
Let's see. My screen's loading up to YouTube now. Just give it a second. There we go. All right, Bitcoin. It is very tough. I'm going to be honest with you. It's tough. Technical analysis during this year is very, very tough. So I don't know. You'd be scalping. These micro moves, but technical analysis, it's tough. But what we could do is make it less tough, right? Here's price action concepts with order blocks. Let's crank everything back up and show what we see. Here's the 4-hour bars, right? It's a kind of a mess. Pump, sideways action, dump, sideways action. Why the sideways action and why this sideways action, right? Let's turn up everything. Let's get a picture here. I think I showed this to you a few weeks ago, but let's just do it again. Show last 5 is default. Let's go show last 1,000,000 order blocks, okay? We'll turn that on. Give it a second. Right. Turn on the overlaps. Okay, it's still thinking. There you go. But most important, this is a 4-hour chart. Let's declutter this a little bit. Let's hide the overlap. I want to show you something. Um, this is a 4-hour chart, right? What is going on over here? Look at those choppy action. There are no order blocks in sight. You see them up here, but this is a 4-hour. So from here to here is a long ways to go, right? Let's turn on some daily order blocks. There you go. This is the chop, right? This is why. You have the daily here. We have the daily here, right? And guess what we're doing? This past week we have the daily here. That is why. So that I will leave you something to think about, right? Overlaying a higher time frame order blocks on your current time frame chart. If anything, it'll show you what the thick important levels are. Cool? Cool. All right, have a good one, right?
Cool. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. For those of you that are new to the stream, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, and if you like the indicators you're seeing, check out the link in the description. You do get 30 days risk-free if you just go to our website at luxalgo.com and get those 30 days risk-free. You can just show right here, just click that big green button. Go to resources and guides if you want to learn more about all these indicators that we have been showing you. You can get full in-depth information on every single feature that we offer, as well as who we are and what we do. As well as make sure to go to the libraries tab. Check out all of our free indicators. We release new free indicators every week. As you can see, we had one yesterday that launched. And we are constantly releasing these ones. Like I've said a million times, these, depending on the popularity, we will update them. We will definitely update them if they ever have bugs. But depending on the popularity, we will update them to be, more efficient, whatever it needs. We spend most of our time, though, updating all the premium indicators to give you the latest and greatest features that people, request or want. So we're constantly updating the premium indicators. The free ones just kind of sit here unless there is like a well-needed update for some of them, or it's a more popular one. But of course, you can go through here and click based on what you want to learn. Dashboards, divergences, drawing tools, volume bit. A lot of different filters you can search up here, whatever you want, and it should be tagged. As well as you want ones that are for Thinkorswim, well, you can use the market structure trailing stop and get it for Thinkorswim. You just download it right here. You can get ones for MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, and then also, like we recommend, TradingView. But we try to give you guys access for most of them. Now, all of them eventually will be available for all these platforms. But for now, it's just going to be the ones that, like if you look at the new one here, we haven't completely converted it for Thinkorswim or MetaTrader, but it will be soon. So again, go on there, check out the platform and which, if there's ones you want to look. And of course, we also have our premium suite as well. And you can get that 30 days risk-free and look at, you can see all the information on the premium suite here on our library tab too. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you possibly tomorrow because I'm going to be out on Thursday. So you might get back-to-back streaming days. It'd be kind of cool if you guys want that. You guys want back-to-back streaming days? Be kind of cool, right? Let me see you. Let me see the people that want back-to-back streaming days. Maybe we'll bring in some. Should we bring in some face cams tomorrow, Mickey? Show them what we really look like. Show them what we really look like, right? Do opening bell tomorrow. We probably wouldn't do opening bell. If we do, it'll be 2 times a week.
Opening bell for me is like I still see the moon.
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, he's out on the West Coast, so he has to wake up real early. He wakes up in darkness, but we will do opening bell soon. Tomorrow won't be just because we want to set up like a really cool environment for a stream like that. So we're still just kind of on the basic side of streaming right now. But oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Make sure you go to the Discord, guys. You can click the link in the description as well and get access to the public section of the Discord. But when you do sign up for that 30 days risk-free, you will get access to the VIP section as well. And in there, you'll be with me and a bunch of other traders as well as Mickey. Mickey is way more every day answering questions, always in there 24/7. I don't even know if he sleeps, honestly. But he's always here to answer questions. And we also, for those of you that sign up for the premium, you get access to the pro strategy. So if there's a strategy you want to learn in here, a lot of pro strategies, like the one we brought in Luke last week to go over that. And so, you know, you can go in here and you can learn about some of these better strategies. And yeah, I do need to be more present in the Discord there, George. I will be as we continue to do these live streams and stuff. But a lot of things that I got going on with Luxalgo on top of the streams and the Discord. So yeah, guys, make sure to check that out as well when you do sign up. Or if you don't, you want to learn more, you want to hang out, talk about some, you know, trades you might be making, just join the public part of the Discord. But we do appreciate you joining us today, and we'll probably see you tomorrow about the same time, 12:30 Eastern. So stay tuned for that. And remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Have a good one, everyone.
That was fun, Mickey. All right, guys. Yeah. Talk to you soon.